All right, let's get into it. Today we are diving deep, literally, to uncover a secret that's been buried at the bottom of the ocean for 1,500 years. This isn't just some old story, though. This secret is waking up. It's coming back to the surface. And its return, it might just change what it means to be human forever.
Everything kicks off with this really simple but kind of creepy question. You look at ancient statues in a museum, and you think of them as just stone, lifeless relics from the past. But what if that's not the whole story? What if they were more than that? What if, all this time, they were just waiting?
So the first piece of this whole crazy puzzle is something the government swears up and down never happened. The Zeus incident. There's this leaked footage, right? It shows an oil rig worker finding a statue. He touches it, and within seconds his skin just cracks. It hardens. He turns into solid clay right there on the rig. Now, officially, it's all a hoax. But this was just the first sign that something was very, very wrong.
And that first sign leads directly to this. A 2,000-year-old Nok terracotta head, a priceless piece of history, is caught on a security camera doing something absolutely impossible. It blinks. You can even see this faint blue light glowing from cracks in its neck, like a signal that something ancient is stirring back to life.
Okay, so how in the world is a statue blinking? Well, the answer isn't in some museum vault. It's out here, in the floating city of Makoko, this incredible, bustling community built right on the waters of Lagos. And this is where we meet the young woman who's about to stumble upon the key to this entire mystery.
Her name is Amara. She's 22, a scavenger, and she knows these waterways like the back of her hand. One day, on a totally routine dive, she finds something that is way out of place. An ancient ivory mask that's pulsing with this weird technological light. She has no idea yet, but what she's holding? It's the key. And she knows it instantly. This is different. This isn't just another piece of junk. The mask is covered in these glowing lines that look almost like a circuit board. She can feel this power humming from it, long before she has any clue what it's for. This isn't a relic. It's a piece of active, ancient tech. And that piece of tech? It's our gateway to one of the biggest secrets in history. It turns out, the Nok civilization, a people who supposedly just vanished 1,500 years ago, well, they didn't disappear. Not really. They just moved. You see, they'd found something incredible, a path to a kind of immortality, a way to actually leave the human body behind. Through this process that was part science, part something else entirely, they learned how to upload their consciousness, their very souls, into these terracotta vessels. And once they were transformed, they took their entire civilization and submerged it, building a whole new kingdom beneath the wave. This is the absolute core of their secret, living clay. It's this wild fusion of ancient art and technology that shouldn't exist. The terracotta isn't just stone. It's a new kind of body for a human soul, a way to live forever. No more aging, no disease. But, and there's a huge but, this eternal life comes with a truly terrible price. So here's the problem. The Nok are running out of room down there, and they're planning a comeback. They want to return to the surface. But if their entire underwater city rises up too fast, the sudden change in pressure is going to trigger an absolute catastrophe, a literal clay tsunami that would just bury the massive city of Lagos in a wave of stone. And this, right here, is where our incredible mystery turns into a full-blown nightmare, because the Nok's return, it's not going to be peaceful. The first scouts they've sent up from the deep have been warped by their time in the darkness. They are not the people they used to be. They're monsters now.
It all starts with a sound. Just imagine it. A chilling, rhythmic scraping against the wooden stilts holding up the houses in Makoko. It's the sound of something hard, something totally unnatural, climbing its way out of the pitch-black water.
They're called the drowned, and they are pure nightmare fuel. Their bodies are made of that same hardened, ancient clay. They don't have mouths to scream with, and they move with this jerky, unnatural, spider-like speed. And in the palm of one of their hands, there's a single glowing blue eye, just scanning the darkness, hunting for life. But the real terror, the part that's going to stick with you, is when one of these creatures confronts Amara. It sees a photo of her brother, Obi, who's been missing. And then, it speaks. But the voice isn't its own. It's this distorted, robotic echo of her brother's voice, turning this monstrous threat into a deeply personal, horrifying nightmare.
So, what started as a personal horror for Amara just explodes into a massive, citywide battle for the very future of Legos. But here's the twist. It's not just a simple fight between humans and monsters. A third player enters the game, and their only goal is to control this ancient technology for themselves.
So now you've got this chaotic three-way battle tearing Legos apart. On one side, you have Team Amara, just fighting to protect her home and trying to figure out what the Nok really want. Then you've got the ruthless Aegis Corporation, who couldn't care less about the people. They just want to grab that mask and weaponize its power. And finally, you have the Drowned, fighting to reclaim the surface for their ancient kingdom.
But the climax of this whole conflict, it isn't about who wins the fight. It's bigger than that. It's about a final revelation that's going to change not just the world, but the actual definition of what it means to be a human being.
Because get this whole thing, it was never an invasion, it's a migration. Right as the fighting hits its peak, these huge beams of blue light erupt, not just in Lagos, but from historical sites all across Africa. The Nok aren't just returning, they're calling everyone home. They're starting a global transformation.
And Amara realizes this in the most shocking way possible. She looks down at her own hands and sees them beginning to change, turning into the same white ivory as the mask she found. The endgame here isn't about defeating the Nok. It's about humanity joining them in the next stage of our evolution.
And that leaves all of us with the ultimate question, really. If you were faced with the end of your life as you know it, but you were offered the chance to live forever, would you take it? Would you accept the transformation? Would you become living clay?